The last four in this section or on this page, is special solutions. Now, all these might not be special solutions, but that's kind of what we're kind of leaning towards. These do not have any fractions, clearly. So what we're going to do is we're going to remind you how to solve equations that did not have fractions. Remember, you want to remove the grouping symbols, combine like terms, and then solve for x. And then I think the last two are going to be a little different. So I'm going to distribute the 3 to the 5x, and I get 15x. Remember, you're multiplying. 3 to the negative 1, and I get a negative 3. So I multiplied 3 times 5 and got 15. 3 times 1 and got 3. Okay? Remember, do not distribute to that negative 2 because it's not in the parentheses. The negative 2 just comes straight down. And I'm just going to write down the 13x plus 3. Remember, you want to combine like terms before you go any further. And on the left side, there are like terms that I can combine. I can combine the negative 3 and the negative 2. That 15x is not like with anything, so it just comes down. And I have negative 3 and negative 2, same sign, so I'm going to add and keep the sign. Bring down my equal sign, and bring down the 13x plus 3 because it's already in simplest form. So now that I have everything in simplest form, I can start moving my variables to the left and my numbers to the right. So this 13 is positive, 13x, so I'm going to subtract 13x to both sides. So I have 15x minus 13x, that gives me 2x minus 5 equals 3. Now I'm kind of running out of room, so I want to relocate up here. So I have 2x minus 5 equals 3. And I want to move this minus 5 to the other side. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So I have 2x equals 3 plus 5 is 8. Divide both sides by 2 and x equals 4. Awesome. Now let's do the next problem. Next problem is pretty similar to number 9. So let's go ahead and do it. So we have, again, grouping symbols. So I have 5 to the 3x gives me 15x. 5 to the negative 1 gives me negative 5. Bring down the plus 2 equals 12x plus 6. Again, exactly just like we had last time, we have like terms that we need to combine. So I'm going to combine on the left side the negative 5 and the positive 2. So I have 15x, and this is going to give me a negative 3 because we have different signs. I'm subtracting, taking the sign of the bigger number. Bring down my equal sign, and bring down my 12x plus 6. Now I want to move my variables first, and I want to move it to the left. This is a positive 12x, so I'm going to subtract 12x to both sides. And I have 15 minus 12, that gives me 3x minus 3 equals, bring down this plus 6. Again, I'm relocating. So I have 3x minus 3 equals 6. I'm just rewriting over there so I have more room to work. I want to get rid of this minus 3. So I'm going to do the opposite of minus 3, and I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I'm left with 3x equals, same sign, add and keep the sign. Whoops, that was weird. So 6 plus 3 is 9. Divide both sides by 3, and x equals 3. That seemed easy enough. Now we go to 11 and 12. 11 and 12, again, I warned you, are going to be a little different. And the reason why they're different is because they have special solutions. There are 2 special solutions that we have not discussed, and their solutions will either be all reals or no solution. If you have any time that your variables cancel out on both sides when you're doing the addition property of equality, then you're going to end up with a special solution. So let's see what 11 and 12 have in store for us. I'm going to do exactly like I've been doing. I'm going to simplify using the steps of solving equations. I'm going to use my distributive property, and I have a negative 2 to a 2x that gives me negative 4x. Negative 2 to a negative 5 gives me a positive 10. Now, I don't have any like terms over here, but this one does, and this one doesn't have a distributive property. So I'm just gonna cover up this side and combine like terms. I have x's that are like and numbers that are like. So that means before I go any further, I want to combine my like terms. For my x's, I have the same sign, so I'm going to add and keep the sign and get a negative 4x. Remember, I have a negative 3 and a negative 1, so 1 plus 3 is 4, and keep the sign. For my numbers, I have two positives, so it's going to be a positive 10, 7 plus 3. Now we have combined like terms on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and start moving my variables to the left. Now this is a minus, so I'm going to do the opposite of that, and I want to add 4x to both sides. Now some of you might notice something in this step on the appearance of this problem right here and how it looks very similar on both sides. That is an indication of a special solution. So if you are seeing that ahead of time, that's awesome. That's something that I'm going to mention in a second. So I have a negative 4x and a positive 4x. It's going to cancel on this side. And notice I have a negative 4x and a positive 4x. That cancels on this side as well. That gives me 10 equals 10. 10 equals 10 is a true statement. And anytime you have a true solution or a true statement like this, this indicates that you have all real numbers as your answer. So you're either going to have a false statement, which is a no solution, or all real numbers indicates you have a true statement. So as long as the numbers are the same, your answer will be all reals. Now, what does that mean if they're different? Let's look at number 12 and we'll see. So again, solving this equation, I'm going to get rid of the distributive, or get rid of the parentheses by using the distributive property. So I'm going to distribute the 3 to the 8y, and I get 24y. The 3 to the negative 1 gives me negative 3. Do the same thing on the other side. I have 6 to the 5, and that gives me 30. The 6 to the 4y gives me a positive 24y. Now, it might not be as easy to see in this step as it was in 11 because it's not exactly the same, and that indicates you do not have a true statement. But nonetheless, I'm going to move my 24y to the other side, and since it's plus 24y, I'm going to subtract 24y to both sides. Cancels it out on this right side, and it also cancels it out on the left because 24y minus 24y just cancels out completely. I have negative 3 equals a positive 30. Now that don't make any sense, and since it doesn't make sense, this is a false statement, and so your answer is no solution. So if you have a true statement, your answer is all reals. If you have a false statement, your answer is no solution. And in this section, when you have these special solutions, you'll have bubbles to pick, so you won't have to actually write the words no solution or all reals. It will be a multiple choice answer. If you have any questions, let me know.